It will. So what does that mean, Nolan? It means that there's a lot of keywords that people don't put into a quality, well-done site that they never work on their sites. And if you do a regularly worked on site, and it's rich with content and pages about expanding your services and everything that you have, that map will pull up on a lot of those keyword terms before those primary ones do, like roofer, roofing company, commercial roofer, like the stuff that people want. But it can show up on all kinds of other things more quickly. Now those primary ones, if it's time, you're like, hey, I want those. So if somebody says, I want to get organic, and I believe that organic can pay rather quickly, and it can, and I'm willing to get time in to get that, how can I get up there as fast as possible? So if you have a smaller market, you might achieve it in 4 or 5 months. Hey there, it's Nolan Walker here with Roofing Webmasters, and I want to talk about map ranking for roofers. So how to show up on mapping, what map ranking is all about, how those guys that are there that you want to be like are there and have achieved this map ranking. So there's a lot of factors that go into everything online, but let's go over some things that have to do with this. One of these you may not like as well, but it's something, just time. How long have you been listed? Now, time alone or any one factor won't do it, but the time and the keywords that you show up for are important. Now, I would say that within 12 months or less, and in some markets within just a month or two, you can show up on mapping. Now, when I say 12 months or less, I'm talking about like a major market. That doesn't mean that you can't have success organically on keywords and reviews and Google placement and other things quickly, but I'm talking about some of your primary keywords you can get up into map ranking quickly if you do a lot of things properly that other people aren't doing. And almost nobody does any of this stuff properly, by the way. It almost doesn't exist. So when I talk about the keywords, well, your primary keyword, like the word roofer, roofing contractor, that's what people want, right? Well, sure, but you can show up for TPO roof replacement. You can show up for shingle roof replacement and other keywords as well. So hail damage roofs and so on. And so that map, based upon the content and the pages, will greatly expand the map. Now, if the category is not recognized by mapping, the maps won't show up at all. And if you do something really obscure, like acrylic roof coating, the map won't show up. But if it's commercial roofing, it will. So what does that mean, Nolan? It means that there's a lot of keywords that people don't put into a quality, well-done site that they never work on their sites. And if you do a regularly worked on site, and it's rich with content and pages about expanding your services and everything that you have, that map will pull up on a lot of those keyword terms before those primary ones do, like roofer, roofing company, commercial roofer, like the stuff that people want. But it can show up on all kinds of other things more quickly. Now those primary ones, if it's time, you're like, hey, I want those. So if somebody says, I want to get organic, and I believe that organic can pay rather quickly, and it can, and I'm willing to get time in to get that, how can I get up there as fast as possible? So if you have a smaller market, you might achieve it in 4 or 5 months and get other results in the meantime. If you have a bigger market, you might achieve it in 12 months. So what do you need to do? All right, let's talk about that. So reviews and comments on the reviews. Not just the Google review, but that's a big one. Google likes to see a medley of reviews. If it were me, I'd take like 50–60% of my reviews as Google. If I had like 10, give me half or more on Google, and then give me Yelp, BBB, Facebook, and that's the way I do it. Angie's List, if you're on there. Don't do them all on Angie's List. If you're buying leads from some service, Home Advisor, Angie's List, great that you got 200 leads on there, but don't do it where you don't have any on Google if you want to show up on their mapping, right? So let's talk about the comments. Well, if somebody helps you with a roofing repair and they have roofing repair in the comments, it's going to help you show up for that keyword term. If somebody had a TPO roof, going to help you show up. Help them with a commercial, they put commercial roofing. Hey, Joe helped me with my commercial roof repair. I'd recommend him to anybody. and they put that in there, yeah, that'll help you. So not just the reviews anywhere, reviews spread out, definitely Google reviews. Comments are important. That'll help out too. What things can show up quick, and then primaries can get their primary keywords by doing other things. Domain authority and links, it's important as well. Can't have like no domain authority and have it work as well. It is a function and part of where you show up in search rankings. I was at a conference about SEO. Girl raised her hand, asked a question to the speaker, and said, we got a client that has tons of reviews, more than other people, but they don't show up in reviews. And the speaker brazed over it and did not answer her question properly. The reason that you can have a lot of reviews and still not show up in the mapping is because of these things and a lot more, such as domain authority, work in your Google account, the website itself, regular work. As more things are done on-site and off-site, that individual deserves to show up better. The algorithm's going to judge all of it. You can have more reviews. Listen, in every market now, you can go in and type in, roof repair, roofer, roofing company, commercial roofer, residential roofer, and you'll see the PAC 3 show up in the mapping. And there'll be people with more reviews down at number 5, 6, 10, 12. And it's like, hey, why are they down there? Well, they're sucking it up pretty bad on all these other categories, right? So they've got all this other stuff. They got reviews, but that's not what the algorithm was about. I did one called Old School. Kind of old school is the new school on SEO, search engine optimization, and online marketing. It hasn't changed any, guys. They grade stuff. They just used to grade less stuff. They grade more things now. So the more things you have going regularly, the better off everything is as a whole. And something like a video or work on your Google map posting or whatever it is will help the map, or help something completely unrelated will help your map show up. So it could be the content, it could be blogging, it could be social response, it could be domain authority, it could be working the Google account, and it helps your map ranking. It could be something not on the map, not on Google even, will help your map ranking. And I don't want to get cloak and dagger here. I'm not trying to scare you away from doing some of this on your own. We'd love to help you with it. This company's built to do this for you. Deep dive content, get people to show up. But the more things you do auxiliary, the better. So the review program, you can get programs that'll shoot out the links on text and email. I recommend having one. I would have Nolan's 5 Steps to Review Success for Nolan's Roofing Company. And that would be my company mantra. I would march and talk and eat and sleep reviews. If I didn't do anything else, I'd say, hey, my guys, when they go to the door, ask heartfelt for a review. Hey, thanks, Nolan. We appreciate your work on the roof. Hey, I appreciate you as well. If you really wanted to help me out, I sure would love to have a review. And they say, okay, Nolan, we'll give you one. I say, I appreciate it. Here's my card. If you go to the website here, there's a link to it. Or if you type in Google my name and the city, company name and the city, then it'll show up. And if you could give me a 5-star review, give me a review, I sure would appreciate it. So that'd be step 1. Step 2, I handed them something in paper. Step 3, I'd get my program to email them, and I'd get it to text them. And then number 5, somebody's sitting in the office, they're not working anyway enough, right? They can call, or you can call if it's just you, and then get them to review. So that's how I'd do it. I'd be serious about it. I wouldn't play around with it. I'd get a program to help, and it'd be my 5 points of review success. And I'd, by God, get my reviews. Now, regular work on everything. We talked about all this stuff, and it's serious though. It's blogging, it's content additions, content changes, code changes, custom design, custom coding, lots of schema code. Work inside the Google My Business account, Google Map postings, putting up pictures, maybe video. social media work, domain authority and linking. All this stuff needs to be done. All of it, all the time. And of course, regular reviews. Content and the pages to expand, we talked about it. So I hope you are seeing the answer to that girl's question. I wish I'd gone up to her and explained it to her. But that's why somebody can have reviews and not show up. You're sucking wind on too many other things. And if you want to have your time shaved down and say, no, I don't want to wait a year. Well, I don't want to wait a year either. We only have so much time on earth. I want to have success now, as soon as we can. This is how to save time. And of course, Roofing Webmasters would love to help you with it. So I'd like to help you. The 24 fantastic webmasters that work here would like to help you. Can't do all of it alone effectively. All the little details and knowledge base that we have sets it all on fire, and you need that. And for the price that we charge, it's such a great deal to be able to get up and get there. And mapping helps you so much, guys, if you've never had it. Don't go from one hailstorm to the next and starve and go in and out. Or worse yet, the ones I hate is when somebody did well in a hailstorm and now there's no roofs hardly left to do. Like half the roofs got hit and then people are bankrupting out. You know what? Roofs still get done even when there was a bad hailstorm and the party's over, somebody's doing business. I was talking to a guy on the phone one time, and he's a client of mine that wasn't a client and came back as a client. And his life's way better now, but what had happened to him in the interim is that he just didn't want to pay for any marketing. They had had a hailstorm there and he stopped. I talked to him 3 years later. The particular city that he was in never had another bad hailstorm. So in this city of about 400,000 people, they had this horrible hailstorm, and then dial forward to 8 years later, there hadn't been a horrible hailstorm, and roofers were leaving, and he got more calls from subs looking for work than he did other people. And I asked him, I said, hey, does anybody in your town do good business? He said, well, yeah, there's 4 or 5 guys that probably do 150 roofs a year still here, and I would be so grateful if I could do that too. But we're thinking about moving out of this state to another place because we've been bleeding red. And I said, who are the 4 or 5 guys? And I looked them up, and lo and behold, you can probably tell what happened. All the guys were the guys that were dominant on mapping. They were dominant on organic keyword search. They were working on all those things to show up. And the moral of the story is, well, by God, it'll help you not just in your regular business, but it'll sustain you. What do you think happens when hail does hit and you're up on mapping and organic? You need mapping, you need organic. Let me tell you something, guys. If you have mapping, you have organic, because all your ducks are in a row. You're taking care of business. You have it all. And when hail hits, the phone blows up. But when hail's over, you're still in business. And all the guys that run in and out, they're gone, and they're hating life in the next one. They love it when they're 20-something. They hate it when they're 40-something. Believe me, I talked to them. So, if you're all affected by hail and storm damage. If you're on the East Coast, storm damage. Here in the South, where we are in Texas, is hail. And there's very few that we talk to that aren't affected by storms and some sort of thing. You don't want to feast or famine on that. It's bad. That's not the best life to have. If you go after a hailstorm and you love it, fine. Why the heck wouldn't you take this too? So I hope you enjoyed it as usual. We'd love to be of service, and we look forward to hearing from you. You got any questions, give us a call.